Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is the reading for the 3/6 Human Design Profile. If you don't know your profile, there's a link in the description below for you to get your Human Design body graph. And one of the bits of information on there will be your profile. Also, definitely be sure to check out your zodiac sign readings if they're not up yet. They will be in the next few days at some point. I want to get those done pronto. So let's get you an oracle card. I hope you're all doing well. That's too many. Ooh, transformation. I love that they're using a moth versus a butterfly to symbolize transformation. We're going to look up the moth totem and see what it says. But let's get your tarot cards out first. I just heard in my head, follow the light. Because, I think moths are drawn to light, like you usually see them flying around your porch lights or street lights even. Okay, what? Things are going crazy. We have the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't shuffle reversals into my decks, but if they come out in the reverse, I will keep it that way. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, and we have the King of Swords in the reverse. How interesting. We have the Queen of Swords in the upright under the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the King of Cups in the reverse. Our whole reading is going to be reversals. Too many. Oh my Lanta. One more. It could just be a lot of resistance to change. It could also be like, I keep hearing revisiting. That's too many. Like revisiting old stuff or, and now this last card is going to take forever. Ace of Swords. I fucking love that. Oh, I love that. One of the cards that flipped over was oh my gosh, look who we have at the bottom of the deck. The Fool. And then the Strength card. 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups. Who is that? That's kind of cool. So let me look up. Whoop, is it still recording? It is. Okay. Oof, I thought I hit a button. Okay, so moths are symbols of transformation and rebirth. Duh. Many cultures view this as a metaphor for positive transformation in your life, one that will lead to new spiritual wisdom, fertility, immediacy, transformation, attachment, nighttime, disguise, unconditional love, spirits, intuition. Moth meaning is asking you to be mindful of the fact that you are using your emotions to keep yourself protected from others. The symbol for us to be vigilant and determined as we pursue our goals. But it also serves to warn us not to fall into blind faith. Yeah, I mean, there's that whole like a moth to a flame type of thing. Don't get burned, right? But let's also, I'm just going to be reading, your whole reading is just going to be me reading other stuff, apparently. It says, as we move through life and evolve, we outgrow older versions of ourselves. This process of growth is natural, but that doesn't mean it's without struggle. Transformation can be painful. Sometimes problems that seem insurmountable force us into cocoons where we feel confused and broken, until we emerge as expanded versions of ourselves with wisdom to share. As more of us transform as individuals, a shift will happen in the collective. This is how we change the world. We must start with ourselves. When we change within, the world around us will transform. What the caterpillar calls the end, the master calls a butterfly. What the caterpillar calls the end, The master calls a butterfly. It's interesting. I don't know why I'm pondering that so much, but it's like, it's like these different perspectives, or what you call one thing, somebody else calls another, but it's like literally the same exact thing. So it's like not allowing yourself to get stuck in semantics. I don't know. It's interesting that I'm even like chewing on that. So we start with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. The keywords for it are recovery, expulsion, release, freedom. I love that. Even though 4 out of 6 cards are in the reverse in this reading, which doesn't happen that often. So you guys are special that way. It does not feel negative though. Like I said, it's like this revisiting or realigning. It could be resisting too, if there is some sort of transformation that is trying to take place. And I feel like even resistance is part of that process anyway. So don't even judge that if that is a thing. I feel like I'm going through my own resistance right now to change, and I'm journaling a lot about it because for me anyway, I have to get it out of my head. It cannot stay in there. If it stays in there, it snowballs into this huge fucking, and then I'm spiraling. Whatever. It's not good. So, journaling could be a thing for you too, right? Like, because like I said, like I have to get it out of my head. It's like either, and I don't really feel like it's anything that personal, and this is just my experience. I'm just sharing it with you. Obviously yours, you could be feeling something totally different, but I don't feel like talking about it to other people. I don't want other people's input. I don't want opinions. I don't want advice. And that's not me trying to be like arrogant, but it's like, I don't need more information because I already feel overwhelmed with like whatever is going, like the snowball that's already at the size that it is in my head as far as like my own transformation journey. So I don't need more on that. I need to unravel or unpack or whatever metaphor you want to use or analogy for that. And for me, seeing it either written down, helps tremendously, because then I'm like, what the fuck? What is that? Where is that even coming from? Is that true or not? So I don't know. That's interesting. But okay, so Pentacles talk about our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. So it could be a job. It's our time. Where are we investing our time? Where are we physically showing up in our lives and spending our time? It's our health, our physical body, anything that we place worth and value on. So your energy, materials, resources. And this Five of Pentacles talks about being at rock bottom. Fives are transitionary energies. The Five of Pentacles generally talks about scarcity and lack, feeling like you don't have enough, not being satisfied with what you do have. In this card, of course, there's this fault line going through the bottom of the sea that cracked open the stone. But what's so interesting about that is that we see what's inside of it now. Like something new has been discovered by the process of this earthquake or this, like fault line going through it. But then it says in the reverse, recovery, expulsion, release, freedom. The story is at the bottom of the sea, 5 stones sit on a deep fault line. These sunken stones at rock bottom feel the pressure of the sea up from above. They attempt to hold themselves together as the earth rips the seabed apart. No longer able to hold the weight of the sea, they crack under pressure. So that could have been something that has already happened. And now with this being in the reverse, you're recovering from that, releasing it. There's a sense of freedom too that comes from, it's like once that pressure crushes us metaphorically, right? Like once it's done, then it's like, okay, we can see where the pieces fell and start putting it back together however we want, right? It doesn't have to be in the same way that it was before, but it's done, it's over. There's a freedom in that, right? And then we have the Queen of Swords. Queens are when we embody the energy of the suit ourselves. We recognize the energy, we master it. Swords have to do with our mind, our mindset, ideas, inspiration, truth and honesty, but like divine objective truth. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, to circumstances. And it becomes a reason why we do things and why we don't do things. Right? Like we receive stimuli or like information from our environment. It goes through the filter of our ego and then kicks out some story about what we believe our reality to be. So this could be healing that in some aspect, especially with it being under the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. There's a mental clarity. This could be you discovering something major about yourself, because it is a queen. So it's not just, oh, I like the color blue. It's not that. It's, it's something to do with your identity. It's even maybe discovering something about your ego and the stories that you attach to your life, to yourself, to, people. I just love that this book that came with this is the Green Glyphs Tarot. I love that it has little keywords. I just think that's so fun. The moon, well rested and of clear mind, charges through the bright sky, creating star after star with her magic. Perhaps one day the sun will realize that by taking the time to plan ahead would catapult him much further than rushing through. Mental breakthrough, focused thinking, planning ahead, propelling forward. Exactly. And that was a possibility because whatever happened with this Five of Pentacles in the reverse. And of course, it would have something to do with a transformation. I mean, maybe you feel like, you could still be in the process of transforming from caterpillar to moth or butterfly, because I know like it's still a caterpillar that changes into a moth. It's just obviously a different kind of caterpillar. I don't know if they're like specifically called moth. I don't know. So then we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, and that says stroke of bad luck, changing fates, temporary misfortune, stuck in a cycle. Upright, it says on board a small boat, the fool approaches dangerous rapids. With no paddle to steer clear of impending doom, will the fate tumble to their demise, or will fate lend a helping hand? The Wheel of Fortune is always spinning. Where it may land is often up to the universe. So again, with it coming out in the reverse, stuck in a cycle, temporary misfortune, changing fates, stroke of bad luck. It's interesting too, because this seems like something that would happen like in my life. There's that Jupiter Cazimi that's happening. I think it's today. It's May 18th. I think it's like exact today, but we're feeling the effects like a day or two before and after. And it's supposed to be like the luckiest weekend or day of the year. Because the Wheel of Fortune is attached to Jupiter, is why I'm bringing that up. So it's interesting that it came out in the reverse, but I do feel like it's more changing fates, changing directions. It's also kind of interesting because if it were, okay, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can because these are all the cards that are at the top. The 3 cards that are, on the top. So if it were upright, it would be heading towards this King of Swords in the reverse. But it's heading back to this 5 of Pentacles. But even, like right here, it kind of looks like that. I know it's just because of the water and the way that it's moving with this boat in it. But what do they call, like a whirlpool? Where you see those in the water sometimes. I don't know how they're created, but it's like a hole in the water that's like spinning. I think that's what it's called, a whirlpool. So, did it say repeating cycles? No, something did. Stuck in a cycle is what it said. Okay, because that's a feeling that I get. It's like continuing to circle around one thing. Because even if, so it's the way that it's sitting on my table, it's heading back towards the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. But if it was upright, it would be heading towards the King of Swords in the reverse. So it's kind of like that saying of doing the same thing repeatedly, but expecting a different result is the definition of insanity or something like that. So it's literally exhibiting the same behavior, going about things in the same exact way, but you expect to get a different result from it. And that could be frustrating. Like you could be like, why am I now back to the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse? But then at the King of Swords, you're like, why is this still in the reverse? But nothing's changed. Which again, could be why there's this revisiting thing here. Even, recycling, like going back, recirculating something because you are resisting some type of change, or even approaching things from a different perspective. Or King of Cups in the reverse says emotionally manipulative, coldness, lacking morals, unsure of self. This would be, I feel like that resistance. Emotional maturity, because it would be recognizing that there's something that has to change within you in order for this whole thing to change for you. Kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? Water, cups, emotions, love. How do we receive it? How do we give it? Empathy, compassion, intuition also. So, the King of Cups would be emotionally mature. There is a clarity. There's a balance of emotion. It's not being reactive through emotion. So there's a certain level of control. It's not making decisions from an emotional place, regardless of whether you're emotionally defined or not. Of course, if you are emotionally defined, it's getting real comfortable with that wave. The ups, the downs, the neutral. If you are not emotionally defined, then it's also recognizing what emotions are yours and what aren't, because that can be overwhelming and like overstimulating. So it's also, finding practices to release and like clear out your emotional solar plexus if you're not defined. I mean, even if you are defined that way, still clearing out your emotional solar plexus, right? Like, and that could just be a bath. It could be sitting near water. It could be drinking a lot of water, rehydrating too, because of course that flushes out toxins too. But again, and even also being sure that you are staying in your own integrity and not using not like weaponizing emotions to get your way. Not even withdrawing or withholding emotions from other people in order to, again, get your way or somehow get your point across. You have to communicate, use your words to express those things. And it's interesting that next we have the King of Swords in the reverse, and it's the King and the Queen of Swords are on opposite sides, like literally at a diagonal from each other. So in the reverse, the King of Swords says weakness, disjointed efforts, starting over, lacking energy. And upright it says, well, the story behind it is reunited, the sun and the moon offer their own light to the star in a way that neither could have done on their own. The star then creates his brothers and sisters in the night sky, giving birth to the universe of stars we know today. The moon has taught the sun an invaluable lesson in patience and coexistence. And since then, the sun and the moon have existed in perfect harmony. We can see the sun and the moon there. So again, in the reverse, weakness, disjointed efforts, starting over, lacking energy. And what is so fucking cool is under the King of Swords, we have the Ace of Swords in the upright. And we can see the moon and we can see the sun. And the star is like falling between them. It could be a shooting star, right? Making a wish. We all have the sun and the moon in our charts anyway, so you might even want to look at what your personality sun gate is in and even just read about that and see if there's anything, any type of message that you get from it. And even look at the moon gate. I mean, you know, on the design side too, the design side is more of our like subconscious and our body. So, you know, do both. Look at both sun gates and both moon gates and see if there's, again, if there's a message there for you. Because it's clear that there's an energy here of change. Clearly. We started with the transformation card. Because the Ace of Swords is a new idea, discovering a new truth, new inspiration. It's an ace, so it's something new. This could even just be like starting over. But did the King of Swords in the reverse say that? I feel like I don't know. But this could even just be having a new outlook on yourself. Even just like allowing that to come through. If you've been resisting some truth about yourself, or even resisting some truth about your life or where you see yourself heading, or, you know, whatever the case may be, it's allowing that to come in. It's actually giving it attention. And then we have the Fool card at the bottom of the deck. So again, there's this new thing. This is taking a leap of faith. It's a risk, but it's also authentic to you. We have the Strength card, determination, perseverance, sticking with it. It's like you have the power of the universe behind you to do this. Even though it's interesting because it almost kind of looks like this elephant is trying to hold this fool back. That's just how they look side to side, but I don't think that's actually what's happening. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is help from others. It's karma. It's like what you put out, you get back. It could be receiving assistance from other people, like charity, in the sense of, I mean, somebody could be volunteering their time to help you. I mean, you could be volunteering your time to help somebody else. There's no strings attached when it comes to the Six of Pentacles. So whatever it is, again, right? It's like getting back what you put in. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.